one of the most important things about video is having good lighting. I am recording this on my cell phone, which is a couple of years old. You should know that if you're using a phone or if you're using a webcam, these devices are going to adjust their image to fit whatever kind of lighting you give them. So you want to try and give them the most light you can. Natural light is the best. If you can be next to a window, have it right next to you, have it in front of you, that's perfect. But what if you don't have that window? Or what if you need to shoot at night? Well, let's take a look at some options. This is the light in my room. In the ceiling, right overhead, lights up the room pretty nicely, I guess. And you know, when I look at myself there, it looks okay. It'll do if that's all you've got, but you can do better. Better does not mean just the light from your computer monitor. Ugh, this is awful. But if you've got a small light, you can use it. If you point it directly at yourself, ooh, man, look at those shadows. That's awful. Ugh. Here's one of the tricks with lights. If I point it straight up at the ceiling, that's a little better, isn't it? When you bounce lights off of a wall, off of the ceiling, you can create a bigger area of light that's coming at you. That softens shadows. This is my 18-inch panel light that I use. Now it's got some fun at different settings that I can play with. Right now it's at 10% brightness and it's at a warm light setting. Now if I turn it up, here's 100% brightness, still at a warm light. So this is the daylight setting. It's bright, cool. It's the closest approximation of natural light that you're going to get. A lot of ring lights that you buy are going to have this same type of light that they are shooting at you. In this case, I've got this one really bright. It's so bright that I'm bouncing it off of the wall. It's not pointed directly at me. It's a very nice way to illuminate. Now I could turn around and point it directly at me. Oh, man. It is so bright. But it also produces much harder shadows because of how directly the light is. I mean, look at the shadow from my fingers right there. So bright lights are great, but if you can bounce them off the wall, that's better. This is the budget option. This is probably about $10 worth of equipment I'm using here. Now, you could get a really cheap ring light off of Amazon, and a lot of those are going to work great. Another option is to get a bright enough light that you can bounce it off of a wall and have it come back to you. In this case, I'm using one of these. This is just a work light with a 75 watt daylight light bulb in it. Is it the highest quality? No, it's not. It's bright enough. The image is okay. The point here is not that you have to go out and buy a work light. The point is that you don't have to buy super fancy equipment. As long as it's bright, it's going to work. If it's bright enough that you can bounce it off of a wall and back at yourself, it's going to be even better. What do you think about these options? I'm going to come back next week and I'll talk a little bit more about kind of higher end, more fancy options if you want to get into that stuff. Let me know what other questions you have.